Well, Hermene, let me ask you this. Do you think it was a missed opportunity with the stimulus that he could have perhaps created more jobs in the type of neighborhoods you're talking about? And maybe that was an area where he dropped the ball?
You took care of the large banks. The large banks were taken care of. The small banks and the community banks were put out of business. And that is where, for the small business person, that is where the money comes from. That is where the loans come from. We're not getting money from the larger institutions. We're getting money from the smaller banks, and for the most part, you cave them. So the stimulus package could have been devised much, much better in that you could have had some amendments and some attachments to it.
Well, I think I completely agree with you. X
amount of these dollars could go to community.
I completely agree with you. But sadly,
so why wasn't it done?
Sadly, there's Republicans in the House of Representatives and there's Republicans in Congress that block that. It's not the president. The president cannot amend a bill. The president doesn't have a line item veto. These are the things that the president doesn't have the ability to do. He did the best what he could with the Congress that he was given. Not only that, he passed the biggest middle-class tax cut in American history in that stimulus package, which benefited proportionately African-American communities more than any other, because that's the middle class.
Hermene, let me ask you the question. You've made the distinction between 2008 and 2012. Is the biggest concern at this stage not necessarily the numbers, that instead of being in the high 90s, we're seeing an 87% approval rating? In your mind, is the biggest concern that people are just going to sit at home and just not vote?
Yes, I think apathy is going to be an issue. If you track the elections, over the last few years, you see people voting less and less and less. And so Mr. Apathy is an element to be concerned with. And I think you're going to see that with Black America this time more than we've ever seen it.
Let me ask the same question to you, Richard. Let's say I'm an African American and I've been hit, I lost my job. I was so excited and so energized in 2008. Maybe this time I don't want to vote. What can the president say to that individual, that voter, that can galvanize that group and get them to the polls? Because he's going to need them, isn't he?
He's definitely going to need them. And I think what the president is going to say is what he's already been saying. He's going to create a contrast between himself and Mitt Romney that shows him as being, I understand your pain. I feel your pain. I've been where you've been. And unlike Mitt Romney, I've been part of the middle class. I've been part of the working class. And I think that's a distinction he has to make. And I think African Americans all across this country are going to have to understand that now is the time not to abandon our president. Now is the time to stand with him, because standing with him is going to be the best solution for the African American community. 4 years of Mitt Romney is going to mean cuts to some of the programs that the African American community depends upon to live and to exist. Community centers, Head Start programs, WIC programs, funding to HBCUs. Those are all things that will be cut if Mitt Romney becomes president of the United States.
Let's move on, though, and let's talk a little bit about North Carolina. And Hermene, I want to get your thoughts. This is where the convention is going to be held. Most recently, a new poll out shows that African Americans in North Carolina, 20% are supporting Mitt Romney. That clearly is something that the President of the United States can't be very happy about. This was a key state in 2008. It's going to be a key state again this time around. Is that a serious problem for the President?
Yes. The president needs to get more focused, I think, on what he's done. The things that you're saying that he has done, I am not sure that it is widely communicated that they have been done, and that communication needs to take place with a very focused target. And I don't think it has that has been done. Some target and some focus needs to be stressed to, about, and for the African American community in America. You can't say, I'm the President of the United States, therefore Black America is incorporated into that. That's true, but you need to do something that has some target specific.
Richard?
I think those polls will end up tightening. They will tighten up a little bit, and I think the president after the convention will get a big bump amongst the African American community. And I also think that we haven't seen the true effect of the president's boots on the ground. He's going to have more boots on the ground than Mitt Romney will have in the African American community, talking to them about the issues and talking to them what's at stake. This election is not necessarily about Mitt Romney versus Obama. This election is about two choices. It's the choices of a country for millionaires and billionaires and a country for the middle class and those who want to be the middle class. And sadly, the African Americans are those who want to be the middle class, and they need to become the middle class, and that can only happen under President Obama.
Hermene, thank you so much for joining us from Chicago. Richard, it's always a pleasure talking to you here in Washington, D.C. Both of you added a lot of insight and a lot of heat to the heat today. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.